Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. Today, we're going to do the what's next on Emanuel Navarrette, the reigning WBO featherweight champion at 126 pounds. He returned and made the first defense of his championship in a second weight class on April 24th when he took on Christopher Diaz in the main event of an ESPN card and really dominated Christopher Diaz in that fight. You know, Diaz was game. He was fighting hard. He kept coming at Navarrette, but you know, Navarrete just punches from so many different angles. He has that somewhat awkward kind of style, and he throws a lot of punches, and he just kept nailing Diaz no matter what Diaz tried to do. And he hurt Diaz. He put him down a total of 4 times, and finally the 5th and final time in the 10th and or in the 12th and final round. So big win right there for Navarrete as he retains his belt. You know, Diaz was a good, tough challenger. You know, he was favored to beat Diaz, but, you know, I think a lot of people were looking forward to seeing his style mesh up against Diaz's style because, you know, Diaz is considered to be a real featherweight at 126. He's a guy who competed for a title at 130 and has come down to 126. You know, because he feels that division's better suited for him. Navarrete just last year moved up to 126 from 122 where he was champion. So, you know, it was a test for Navarrete, and he passed it with flying colors. And now the big question is, what's next for Emanuel Navarrete heading into what's going to be the second half of 2021 here. So we're going to run through the top 10 because haven't heard anything concrete on what's possibly next for Navarrete. So let's run through the top 10 and see what some of the options could be. Start with the number 1, the WBC champion, Gary Russell Jr. Well, you know, this is top rank working with the PBC. Russell has his mandatory fight against Ray Vargas, the undefeated former champ, next. And, you know, he only fights once a year for the most part. So that's what he's been doing for about 5-6 years straight now. So I don't see this one. I wouldn't see this one even if he didn't have his fight already locked up, Russell, because it's PBC and top rank. So no chance in my opinion. Now number 2 is, let me see here. Number 2 in the division is Mauricio Lara, following that money victory he had over Josh Warrington. You know, I think this fight is possible. Lara, I'm not sure if he's tied to DAZN. You know, I know he knocked out Josh Warrington on DAZN, but I'm not sure Lara is tied to DAZN. So could Mauricio Lara possibly get a shot against Emanuel Navarrete following that win? I think it is very possible, you know, to see if these two guys could lock horns. It's a good matchup right here, and I would honestly love to see it after Lara completely dominated and knocked out Warrington. I know Warrington has the option of a rematch with Lara, but I think Lara would jump at an opportunity to fight for the world title against Navarrete. So we have to see. Number 3 is Josh Warrington, the former IBF champion. No chance he's going to be fighting for the world title anytime soon, so I don't see this one. Actually, I have Navarrete number 3. Josh Warrington is technically number 4 now. And I don't see that. Number 5 is Shukan of China, the former WBA. Actually, number 5 is Kip Galahad of the United Kingdom. Sorry about that, guys. I'm a little off today. It's Monday, just starting work. Navarrete and Galahad. Well, Galahad's fighting for the vacant IBF title next. He's a DAZN guy right now. I know he's talking to the PBC about possibly signing a contract with them. I just don't see Navarrete and his people being interested in a showdown with Galahad. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be. It's a unification bout, but I think it's the promotions. I think it's a style matchup, you know, that would make these two parties not, you know, want to glue themselves to each other and make a fight. So, if that makes sense. Number 6 is the WBA regular champion, Shukan of China. Now, I would love to see this fight. I know Can is tied to DAZN and Navarrete to ESPN, and I'd love to see this fight because I think it'd be all action, a lot of punches getting thrown, but, you know, Can, as long as he's the regular champion, I don't think the other champions are going to give him any love because they're not considering the regular belt a unification type belt. You know, it's more just he's a secondary world champ like he is. So I'm not seeing these two guys lock horns as much as I would love to see the fight, and I hope something could get worked out because I think it'd be a great fight. Number 7 is Tuksko Nayambayar of Mongolia. I don't see Mongolian Nayambayar fighting Navarrette just because it's PBC versus top rank. I would love the matchup. I think it'd be a good one, but I just don't see the two sides coming together. Number 8 is former 122-pound champion Isaac Dogbe, which will be a third fight between Navarrete and Dogbe. Dogbe needs to stay away from this fight until he's really gained a lot of confidence because, I don't think he beats Navarrete whenever they fight. I just think stylistically it's a bad matchup for Dogbe. You know, he got outworked the first time, and the second time he just flat out got beat up and knocked out against Navarrete. So even at 126, I think Dogbe gets hit with too many punches, and he has too much heart. He's going to go after Navarrete and try to knock him out, and I just don't think the styles match up well. Now, they're both ESPN guys, but I'm just not seeing it. Number 9 is Jesse Magdaleno, the former WBO champ at 122. Now, I do think this is possible because this is a fight that was supposed to happen late last year. If ESPN can come up with more money for this fight, I think Magdaleno would be down to fight him. But Magdaleno has to come back himself and shake off some rust before he can think about that. But I'm not holding it past him that he would be, possible to fight him. And I think that fight could likely happen. And finally, rounding out the top 10 is Joel Gonzalez, the former world title challenger. This is another fighter that I could see fighting Navarrete. Stylistically, maybe it's a bad matchup for Navarrete because Gonzalez is a good boxer, and he's a southpaw. But, Gonzalez fought with ESPN the last time. Navarrete's an ESPN guy. So I do think it's a makeable fight. So Navarrete, there's no concrete guy. We don't know if he has a WBO mandatory due or not, if they're going to mandate one. But I do think he has some options. I don't know about top 5 guys. I'm leaning towards maybe Mauricio Lara being the most possible guy in the top 5. Everybody else, it doesn't seem likely. But second half of the top 10, I think Jesse Magdaleno is a real possibility and Joel Gonzalez is a real possibility. And I hope he takes on a top 10 guy next and really puts himself out there to continue to move up the ladder. So that's it. That's the what's next on the WBO featherweight champion of the world, the reigning champ, Emanuel Navarrete, following his impressive 12th round knockout of Christopher Diaz. Hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.